Welcome to Just Landed with your host, Khadija Haliru. Welcome to Just Landed, discussing what matters to you and showcasing your story, your contributions, and your culture. I'm your host, Khadija Haliru, and with me today we'll be discussing our topic, mental and spiritual support when you come as a newcomer. We have our wonderful guest today. We have Mrs. Funke Igwedo. She's a pastor as well. And we have Mr. Hafiz Mohammed from the Brampton location. So we're going to have you introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and where you come from so that we know what you're representing.
Thank you very much, Khadija, for inviting me to your show. My name is Pastor Funke Igwedo of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, the Lost Cedar, Brampton.
Okay. And Mr.
I'm Hafiz Mohammed. I'm representing the Light of Islam Association in Brampton.
Awesome. So essentially, we are both of different faiths here, but together as a community from Africa, we have different roles that we play in our different communities. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this show is because a lot of newcomers come and it's a challenge to settle into this country. We all know how difficult it is when you come. You have to worry about jobs, settling down, worry about the kids. It could just all come down crashing. And this is why I really wanted us to talk about this, because if you choose to have some support, there is available support, don't you think?
Yeah.
So tell us exactly what your role in your community is.
My role as the imam, if we have any new immigrant coming into Brampton, if they locate us as the Brampton Islamic Center, we try to support the family because the way we practice Islam in our home country in Nigeria is different from the way others practice it in many parts of the world.
You mean culturally, the way we do our celebrations?
Culture, we bring a lot of our culture into the way we practice the religion. So we come together, like if there's a naming ceremony, we all come together and we socialize and we do it. It is in the Islamic way, but still everybody comes together and the family feels happy and they feel belonging.
So if, say, a lot of families that come here, let me give Pastor Funke her say here. When you have someone approach you, how do you support them? Like, what do you have to do?
Here we have a lot of people just landed in the church, in our community, and most of the time they need people to show them around. We assign some people that is in hospitality to take them around. Most of the time we find ourselves that we allocate some certain amount to do grocery because we know at times they need some grocery to go around. Then we ask them about their background, their educational background, how the church can fit in to assist them. And at the same time, we make them understand that, you know what, you are not in this alone. We're there together.
Yeah,
the more you come to church, you know, we help you to build you up spiritually, and
it's important for our newcomers and even our existing, citizens that haven't really taken advantage of the spiritual environment. That community support helps our children as well, not just the adult who's needing help when they just come. Like, I know that for you bring all the families together, like you said, in your different respects. But have you seen the very good impact on our kids?
Yeah, just most important thing, the children, especially the young adult, the teenagers. Exactly. Like in our own community-based church, we have youth departments and we have minister in charge of the youth who coordinates, teach them, this is how to do things. And some of them, they're already in secondary school before they come here. Maybe they are one grade higher. By the time they come to Canada, everything changed because they're like somebody that is from grade 10 in Nigeria coming down here to start grade 9. It could be mentally destabilize them. Yes. So we find a way with the youth minister to communicate to them, you know what, Canada is according to your age and it does not matter, maybe you are in grade 10 from Nigeria. By the time you start school here, you begin to get along and you'll be able to understand, because we discover that most of the mental health affect the children even more than the adults. Yes. When they get to school, some of them, because of their accents, they get bullied. And maybe because of their educational background, they feel that they don't belong. But having the youth department in the church have helped greatly to be able to stand that this is who I am.
It helps with the child.
Exactly. And we make them to understand that you don't let other people to define who you are. When you know who you are spiritually, when you go out there, even if other students are making jest of you or your accent or your educational
Gives them the
background,
confidence to be able
exactly,
to weather
exactly. So that's the one thing that we help the youth
Awesome.
about in the church.
What she's talking about right now is hitting home very well, because even when you can't understand what your child is going to, perhaps there's someone else who can help you figure out what's going on. I'm going to come to Mr. Hafiz just to get your insight into the same issues. But you know what you need to do? Stay right there. We'll be right back.
This show is supported by local businesses. This show is supported by local businesses.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Just Landed, and you can follow us on Twitter at JustLLanded. Again, we have a lot of questions we're posing there. To follow us on YouTube, go to Just Landed TV, and you'll find us to catch up on this episode. Now, we were talking with our wonderful guest, Pastor Funke and Imam Hafiz, and we were talking about what the community is able to do when our children have issues with mental and spiritual support. Let's hear from you. Like, what would your community do if you had issues with teenagers?
Yeah, normally back in our home country, most families send their children to the Arabic school. Normally they don't learn Arabic in their normal English school curriculum. So when they get here, they try to look around to see if they can find Arabic school like this to teach them about Arabic and Islam and how to pray and what to do when you wake up and all these things that we Muslims have to do.
Yeah.
So we have a class for these children in our Brampton. So when the student comes, when the family feels that they found this class, they feel very happy.
Yeah.
So we start to teach them how to pray, how to read Arabic, how to read their Quran. And when they see other peers in their group that read together in the same way, they feel happy,
Yeah.
and then they feel welcome to.
So then you're in essence creating a community of children that know each other, that bond with each other because they're coming from a common place.
Yeah.
Not to say we're not integrating, but again, our kids have unique issues with them that we need to build a confidence in them. And like Pastor Punke alluded to earlier, some of them have mental issues because of the way that they're treated in school. And so that spiritual environment becomes very pivotal.
Important, yeah.
Very important. So what about programs you said you have in your church when you come to celebrating people, children, workers? Like, is there anything that the environment in the church or the mosque can?
Yeah, that's part of the thing we give to the community, because most of the time, especially the Just Landed, it is easy to forget things. It is easy to even forget your birthday and a lot of things. So when they come to the church for the first time, we take their information data, we get their dates. You don't need to put your year, just put your anniversary, maybe wedding anniversary, your birthday. And what we do as a church, the first Sunday of every month for the Redeemed Christian Church of God, we do Thanksgiving. And during the Thanksgiving, we celebrate everyone that is born, maybe from the month of January. We call them out, we cut cake for them, and when they cut the cake after the service, they have to get their own share. Then February, then wedding anniversary.
Oh,
then
so
maybe
every month you have
every month we
have a
have
specific thing you celebrate.
exactly.
Okay.
For those who are doing birthday, for those who are doing wedding
Weddings,
anniversary,
awesome.
and for those who just want to thank God.
So you have a place to go if you're looking for something like that. If you're a Christian and you're looking for a place to kind of feel and belong, Pastor Funke, definitely that's an insight into how you guys kind of have fun. In our case, the imams,
mosque,
when you have a baby in Islam, it's very important, I know, to have that 7-day ceremony, and there's a special ceremony around the baby, and weddings again. So tell us, how many times do you find that you have to do that, especially for newcomers?
In fact, there are so many newcomers. When they come, they don't have time to come to the mosque or participate in some of our programs. But when they have babies, they need an imam to come and give names. So they are forced to actually have to look for us, and then they invite us, and we go there, we celebrate with them, we go with all our members. Because in those cases, you find that those families, they don't have family, even members, to celebrate with them. So when we go with all our members, they feel very happy, they cook, we all eat, and then socialize together.
It becomes something like we do back home.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know what? That's something that you guys need to do. First of all, you need to know where your community is. You need to know where the spiritual support is, because it does really work. Exactly. I know as a social worker, you see a lot of cases where people break down, and it's not because they don't have the strength. It's the mental, spiritual lacking, right?
And being a social worker has actually helped me greatly in my pastoral duty, because looking at some children or teenager, I could sense it, and most of the teenager, especially when they just come in, they don't want to discuss even with their parents, because the way we are brought up in Africa, when dad and mom is talking, you keep quiet. So that is a change environment, and that is how we first of all to break the ice, because it's like ice and they are not really willing to talk. So by the time I sense it, then I'll be able to call some of the teenagers to my office and say, let's talk. This is Canada. You are free, freedom of speech. Let your parents know what you're going through. If you don't talk to them, they will not know. So this method, with the social work, being able to identify what they're going through, has really helped the family in the church very well. And some parents come back and say, thank you, because my daughter will not talk to me, but now they're talking. I say, you know, the upbringing, how we are brought up in Africa is different from here. And if you want to keep it, they will do a lot of things without you knowing it, and you want to be there. Being present as a social worker, you have to be there, being present with your clients. So you're looking at your daughter or your son as clients, and you want to be there, be present in their moments.
So that's
the moments in their education, the moments in their study, the moments in their challenges, whatever they are going through. You want to be in a moment for them.
Because then it helps their spiritual and mental stability, because they feel that they can always run to you.
Exactly.
I know that the Quranic classes, I know, brings just the kids together too.
In our program, we have to actually separate them into different classes, because, you know, it depends on how much knowledge they have about Arabic or Islamic. So we have like the primary grade, we group them together. Then we have teenagers who are already in the secondary grade, we group them. And sometimes we have to separate the male from the females. So
do you have a way of reaching out to these kids in case they can't talk to their parents? Like, just like she's saying, is there a program where they can come to the imam or?
Yeah, we have a program, we call it As-Salatu, that we do every week.
Every week.
Yeah, in those programs, everybody has to participate. So the kids and the parents, everybody will have to talk. So some of the kids, they don't like to participate in this program. So their parents come and tell us that this kid is not willing to participate, and then we have to talk to them. Okay. They come to us, we'll call them separately, and we have to explain to them Quranic verses that says that they have to participate in some of these things, and we see changes. Okay. We have done so for like 2-3 kids, and we see a lot of changes in.
So there's a sense of a counseling service that you offer
for
parents.
For parents and for even for their children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Hafiz and Pastor Funke. It was an insight into just sharing with our community how there is help. You have the support available. You definitely want to take advantage. So thank you for being on the show. And again, same time next week. Don't forget, we'll be right back.
This show is supported by local businesses. To be featured on the show, contact us through our website at khadijahaliru.com.
Hi, welcome to Just Landed, discussing what matters to you, showcasing your stories, your contributions, and your culture. I'm your host, Khadija Haliru. Joining me today on this topic, Africa, celebrating Africa, integrated fashion, is Rosemary. And Rosemary is by profession in Canada. You are actually an event management company owner. She does a lot of nice work. And tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Hi, Khadija. My name is Rosemary Hiring, like she said earlier on. I make things happen. My company, or I will tell you when I say I make things happen, is what I do and how I do it.
So basically, you make events happen by bringing your flair to
Yeah.
bringing the events.
Yeah, I make events happen by putting color, culture, crowd, and celebration together.
Awesome. I know what you did at the Caravan this year was really spectacular, and I appreciated the flair, the ambience that you created. So tell us, how do you bring that, how do you stay true to that African culture when you do your event? Because event managers, for sure, do all sorts of designs, but you kind of stuck to that.
Yeah. In Caravan, when I was called into what can you do for us in the African pavilion? Well, my native land was full of culture. Where I am coming from, we're rich of culture. So whatever you think, however you want it, I could put it together. So when I got in there, I looked at the environment. I said, okay, this is Africa, and I will make it Africa. I don't need to go get the silk. I don't need to go get velvet. I don't need to go get any other material to make it happen in African pavilion. Because we're so rich in fabric and accessory,
I know.
I decided to make it the African way.
It was beautiful, and we definitely
Thank you.
appreciated it. It brought Africa together. And another thing that you did at the African Pavilion that a lot of people don't know, and I'm not going to let it out yet, because you know what? You guys are going to stay right there with us. We'll come back and tell us the secret and what she actually did do that brought us all together and actually made people feel very, very special. So stay right there with us. We'll be right back.
This show is supported by local businesses.
Well, if you're just joining us, next we're going to bring you a continuation from last week's celebration of our people in entertainment, in fashion, in events. This week we're going to have a lady come on and showcase her talent in using African fabrics for celebrating Africa and whatever she does. So stay tuned. Rosemary will be right here with me discussing integrated fashion. Last week we talked fashion wear. Today we're going to be sharing with you how she brings African taste into celebrating events by decoration. And you don't want to go anywhere. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
To be featured on the show, contact us through our website at khadijahaliru.com.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Just Landed with Khadija Haliru, and you can catch us on YouTube by typing Just Landed TV. Also follow us on Twitter at Just L Landed. And I'm here again with Miss Rosemary, wonderful lady who performed some nice ambience miracles for us at the Caravan. When we're talking about your decorative flair, and you said you don't use silk a lot, you don't use, not that you don't, you perhaps do for other events, but for the African theme, you were able to bring that culture, and the fabrics that you use were more of the prints, the African prints.
Sure.
I remember the theme being wear African prints or wear African clothing to the Caravan, and a lot of cultures from different countries were able to come together for one unique thing that you did, and that was tying the headgear. She perhaps got everybody all surrounding her table because she kind of made everybody feel special by that simple headgear. Tell us what that headgear really means and what it does to people.
In the culture where I'm coming from, Nigeria is rich with different tribes, and all tribes are the way they tie their hair. But the tying of hair goes on with different names in Nigeria. Some call it gele, some call it tukiofon, some call it a tie. But
Gogoro.
some call it gogoro, But Rosemary's Planet, being a decorator, has flair for so many things. And being that I grew up in Africa and an African child, it is what I have flair doing, and I enjoy doing it, especially when it makes people happy. no matter how poor you look in your outfit, but once you put up the headgear, it makes you look elegant, it makes you look rich.
Yes.
So I decided to put that beauty in everyone, making them know that when you are Africa, you don't have to look shabby. You had to look rich, you had to
Yeah.
look culturally presented.
Yeah.
So that was what I was trying to put in everyone's life while they
You
were
put a
at
lot
the
of
African
smiles. You put a lot of
pavilion.
smiles on people's faces, and all of a
Sure.
sudden, I saw all the East African women, the South African women. Everybody wanted that headgear. It was really beautiful to see. So essentially, when we come to a country like this, it all brings us together, and when we share cultures, we definitely find that unique oneness in it, and it was really interesting. So tell me, how do you actually put that headgear together? Because a lot of people have tried. I know a lot of friends have asked me, how do you guys do this? It's so hard.
Yeah. It all depends on, like, when I look at, I still got to do it, what I have left for my passion. When I look at what you're wearing, like what you're wearing now, if I decide to make this area look in a different direction, it's just for me to look at, okay, what she's wearing, will this really enhance the beauty of her outfit? Will this make her look rich? Will this, throw off her ambience on what she's wearing? Will this sell her off? Those are the things I was doing. And at the same time, making people coming into Caribbean knows that this is Africa. And the way I tie it is the way you handle it.
The way you carry it.
The way you carry it, the way you handle it. When I look at what you have, the fabric you have, the type of texture it goes, that tells me the way I should put it. So it depends on how the fabric is. That's the fabric for the headgear that I'm using. And it depends on how big or small it is. That tells me the styles, the style is going to come out.
But there's a unique difference between the colorful ones and then the soft woven ones, and then the plain ones that shine. And so when do you know what to use when? Like,
Okay. Like I said, like the traditional Yoruba African headgear is called asoke. It is
Okay.
woven in wool, silk, and it also comes in different form. So when I'm having an asoke woven in wool, I could make it like a wrap. I could make it like a hat.
yeah.
So when I do it that way, it depends on what you're wearing. If you're wearing an English outfit, I could make the ashoke comes up like a hat on
Okay,
you.
so matching basically the
Matching
kind of
basically what you're wearing.
what you're wearing.
So that tells you that in Africa, to know how rich our culture is,
We can
we
wear
can
like a
never,
chameleon.
yeah, we can't leave it at that. We can go far beyond. We can present it anywhere, anytime, any day.
And like I said, a lot of cultures actually did try on the headgear. So our next segment, we're gonna actually see how Rosemary can put a twist on some of the outfits that you wear every day. And for me, perhaps you're gonna show how I can look different in what I'm wearing today.
Sure.
Anyway, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To be featured on the show, contact us through our website at khadijahaliru.com.
Introducing AfricanBizNet.com, a common place to buy or sell, post free, or feature your ad with magnified pictures. With integrated maps, weekly blogs on local and international people and events, visit us at www.africanbiznet.com, your African marketplace.
This show is supported by local businesses.
Welcome back. Just landed with your host, Khadija Haliru. Before the break, you saw me. And I'm back with this headgear that Rosemary has just done for me. So tell me again, this is what you call the...
Headgear, like you called it. Some call it ukiofon, some call it head tie. But the difference between these and what you were wearing earlier on was the other one was flat and it wasn't making you look as elaborate as you look now.
All right.
So that's one of the things that Rosemary's Planet put together to make people in every occasion looks fabulous. It's not just about the decoration, but you can also decorate the people in the event.
All right.
That's what it's all about. Then we have a lot of it in different colors, shape, and folds. So depending on what you're coming out with, whatever goes with it fits along.
And you made a very important note that you can actually wear this on top of anything. So even the English
Sure.
wear. And
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that we're going to showcase again, where you can tie this whether on a long skirt or on a
a
blouse.
short skirt, or even what I'm wearing. If I decide to fit any of this color into it, there's a way I'll present it and it will come out. I won't look as simple as I look now. I'll look
You'll look
more
more elegant.
enhanced and elegant.
Essentially, just as the icing on the cake for any dress that you wear.
Yeah, but the icing goes with the presentation of the cake. That tells you like the ambience of it all.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's it.
Well, it was really nice having you on. We discussed, and I want to thank you for the wonderful image you projected for Africa at the Caribram again this year. Next time, we maybe look forward to seeing more from you.
Sure.
All right.
And a better atmosphere like we're
Yeah.
looking forward to.
Yes.
And I believe by God's grace, then Rosemarch Planet might have gone bigger, broader, and more.
Well, thank you so
Thanks.
much for being on the show.
You're welcome, Adija.
All
And
right.
it's my pleasure.
Thank you one more time for joining us this week. We want to thank you for being on the show. And if you want to catch on this episode, please go to Just Landed at Just L Landed on Twitter and Just Landed TV on YouTube. Thank you and bye-bye.
To be featured on the show, contact us through our website at khadijahaliru.com.
I think the show was really great. It was really intuitive. It's really great to know what's happening in the African community and like different resources, and just to kind of know like in different situations you're not alone and that there's other people helping you.
African Canadian immigration coming to Canada, and to reach out to the people, the African people, the immigration people that just come landing into the Canada.
A lot of people, when they come here, they're lost and they have no direction or guidance. This show will definitely give a helping hand to those who do come to Canada.
Join us next time on Just Landed, where we showcase your contributions, talents, and businesses who support your community. To be featured on the show, contact us through our website at khadijahaliru.com.